immediately see something that's going to be perfect.
Right.
From my experience, it's always a collaborative effort. It's always sitting down and doing it in steps so that they see their ideas and there's a back and forth about what's not quite right and what is. And I find that clients don't, a lot of times they just want to hire you and just say, okay, they want to see it.
Go create something. And
right, but they want to see it and they want it to match what they're thinking.
Right, which is, unless you're a mind reader, is impossible.
Right, and so I tell a lot of the clients I work with, I have to tell them, you know, when they see the first thing, and they're always saying, no, this isn't what I had in mind.
Right.
It's like you have to say, I know that, but we have to have a place to start from.
Right.
It's point A, and with collaboration, with hearing, okay, what is it that's not working in this for you? What is it that's working in this for you? Then you can come across with something that is a win-win, because it's all about nailing down the message they're trying to put across. And I've worked with people who don't understand that part.
They don't get it.
Yeah, when they see the first thing, they're like, and they want to run.
See, the thing with me is I usually have a good idea as to what I want, but I also don't approach marketing with an ego, and so I rely on somebody like you to tell me what you see. Maybe what I think I want isn't actually what I need. Mm-hmm. Sometimes what I think I want is just wrong, and you know, somebody like you can point out something like that. Or maybe just through the exchange, I realize how it's right, and you're going to help me get there. Mm-hmm. And it's a very, you know, it's like just large gray area that's hard to grasp.
Right.
For a lot of people.
It's very subjective. And somebody looks at it and they you know, they just have their idea, and it takes a lot of back and forth.
But when it works really well, you know, and you know, so I mean, I think that we've got a great system working now where, you know, we bounce things back and forth, and usually what comes from that is something better, you know, so. And the projects that we're working on now, we'll get there. We'll figure it out.
Right.
Even though
they're fun.
That email you sent me scared me. So I think she lost her mind. But
that's a lot of people say that.
Yeah, but that's okay, because you know, it's about art, and it's about stretching it out. You know, we talked about the work you did with Disney. Well, I mean, I heard what's his name, Kastenberg. You know, I heard him talk about how they would sit in a room when they would, back in the days when they were doing Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. You know, they would sit in a room. They'd all sit around and basically throw out ideas. And anything goes. The crazier the better, because ultimately you kind of hone in on what'll work, you know? And it's like that with the marketing. You have to kind of go there and say, what if?
Right.
Then eventually you'll reel yourself back in and say, no, you can't quite go there, but maybe we can go to here.
Right.
How far can we push it before it's...
And see, that's where the fun is.
It is, because if you can bring something interesting into it, something humorous, without offending, you know. When we did the billboard campaign with the Rottweilers, all I wanted was a campaign that basically told people that we handle dog accident cases. What kind of dog am I going to put up there? I can't put a poodle or a Maltese. Although I could. I thought of putting the Taco Bell dog up there, you know, Quiero Abogado, you know. But, you know, so I wanted a vicious-looking dog.
Right.
Well, you have a pit bull, you have a Rottweiler, so we put a Rottweiler up there. Well, little did I know that I would get hate mail from Rottweiler owners that I was discriminating against a worthy breed. I'm not against Rottweilers.
And that's also a good part of our work.
I had Doberman Pinschers, I had German Shepherds, you know.
Yeah.
But it's an ad. What were you saying?
It's a good part of artwork that you're using. When you draw something, you don't have to make it something that's so identifiable.
Oh, that's true.
That you're not going to get...
But it worked against me here, because what I did was we took a Rottweiler, a drawing, and of course we made the teeth a little sharper, and we have blood, I don't even remember. We made it look pretty scary.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's a billboard. And anybody that knows anything about advertising knows a billboard ad is not a yellow page ad. You've got a few seconds to catch somebody's eye. They're driving by. Right. They're on a bus. If they don't look up and say, what the hell, you've failed. You've thrown your money away.
Right.
So the whole point was to get them to see the billboard and then absorb the message.
Right.
Bitten by a dog, bite back. That's it. That's the message. That's advertising, and you know.
Right.
It's whatever it is.
It's a split
That's
second.
marketing.
Yeah.
You know? If you don't get their attention,
you've lost the opportunity.
Whether they're turning the page or they're driving around, you've got a few seconds.
Right.
That's